Hello everybody, my name is Aaliyah Dosk, and as you saw from the intro, I will be discussing some of the prisoners held in the Tower of London. The Tower of London is a 900-year-old castle that was used for various reasons, such as a royal residency, an armory, museum, but most importantly, it was a house for prisoners. Many prisoners were held in the Tower of London throughout time. After doing some research, I found 3 cases that stuck out to me most. In this video, I'll explain the cases of Anne Boleyn, Guy Fawkes, and Joseph Jacobs, while giving you a brief history of their background and concluding with my own personal opinion of each individual case. The first case that caught my eye was of a woman by the name of Anne Boleyn. Born in the early 1500s, Anne grew up to become the second wife of King Henry VIII. After reading further into Anne's case, I realized I don't like this man. He's evil. King Henry was one of the most famous kings of England because of his many wives. Anne happened to be his second wife. He got rid of his first wife because she couldn't bear him a son. Now he brought Anne into the picture, and she served as queen for 3 years before her life was turned upside down by this man. Let me tell y'all. King Henry accused Anne of a lot of things. He accused her of cheating with multiple men. He accused her of being a part of a plot to kill him. But the most famous one of all is he accused her of trapping him in a marriage, knowing she would not be able to bear him a son. Just crazy things. Of course, after all these crazy accusations, Anne was taken as a prisoner to the Tower of London, where she awaited trial. On May 19th, she was sentenced to death. She was taken to the Tower Green in London, where she was beheaded by a French swordsman. All in all, I feel like her case was just really shocking and crazy to know that women were getting beheaded because they couldn't bear a son. It's really crazy to me to think about that now. I also feel like she should have, listened to red flags. If you saw that he left his first wife because she couldn't bear him a son, why would you hop into marriage with him? I know he's a king and all, but I think I'd rather marry a regular guy and have my head than marry a king and get beheaded. But hey, whatever floats her boat, I guess. The next case we'll be discussing will be by the man by the name of Guy Fawkes. Born in 1570 in York, England, Fawkes spent most of his life fighting against Spain for his Protestant rebels and petitioning to start an English rebellion against King James. This led to the plan to blow up the House of Parliament in hopes to kill King James. He wanted to kill the king in order to restore Catholic practices by replacing the king with a Catholic alternative. In order to complete his plan, Fawkes, along with 12 other men, transported 36 barrels of gunpowder to the cellar below Parliament. He would await King James to open the Parliament so he could set the gunpowder on fire. The plan backfired when Robert Cecil, King James' minister, caught Fawkes in the cellar guarding the gunpowder. Fawkes was arrested and held in the Towers of London, where he was tortured for a couple days until he finally confessed of his involvement in the plan. He was sentenced to death by being hanged, drawn, and quartered. But on the day of his sentenced death, after the noose was placed around his neck, Fawkes jumped, avoiding to have his organs cut from his body while he was still alive. Now, every year on November 5th in London, it is known as Gunpowder Plot Day, where people light bonfires in remembrance of Guy Fawkes' failed attempt. His stories interest me to know how far he went for something he believed in. I understand wanting to right to practice whatever religion you choose to practice, but his plan was a bit on the extreme side. But, I guess when you believe in something, you go hard for it. I just don't know if I wanted to have my organs cut out. That's all I'm saying. Lastly, we have Joseph Jacobs, a German spy and the very last person to be executed in the Tower of London. His story interests me because he literally lived a double life. He was born June 30th, where he served in the infantry in World War I and awarded the German military honor. He went on to becoming a dentist in Berlin for the next 9 years, where he planted the seeds to start a family with his wife Margaret. Jacobs went on to having 3 children and was living a good life with his practice, but in the wake of the Great Depression, Jacobs was forced to close his practice and decline from a dentist to a crook in order to provide. Through failed schemes, Jacobs' help was needed in a concentration camp where he was drafted to become a German spy. At 43 years old, Jacobs received little training and was sent on a mission where he was parachuted into England to gain intel. The case became to a abrupt stop when Joseph landed too hard, breaking his ankle on impact. After trying to survive unbearable pain, he allowed himself to be captured, where he was found and turned over to British authorities and sentenced to death. His story, like I said before, interests me the most because he literally lived a double life. Like, how are you a dentist and a German spy all at once? But what I liked the most about him was he was willing to do anything to provide for his family. Like, he literally became a German spy. In conclusion, all 3 cases of Anne Boleyn, Guy Fawkes, and Joseph Jacobs were all very interesting to me. All were cases of 3 peoples whose life took a quick turn for the worst. Anne was falsely accused, Guy was trying to fight for his own free will to practice his religion, and Joseph got caught in the wrong crowd after the Great Depression left him in desperate times to provide for his family. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.